Welcome back to another episode of Recovery Life. My name is LATOYA and we are back. Just so you know, I choose different guests. It's not just women. There is no gender. And I have some new guests for you today, and I'm going to start over to my left and they're going to introduce themselves to you. How are you?
Fine. My name is IRAY Spirit.
Hi, IRAY.
How you doing? My name is Ricardo Siblitz.
Hi, Ricardo. So I'm going to just take a moment to get to know you. The viewers have never seen either of you on the show before. Mm-hmm. So just give me a couple of minutes of who you are and what you stand for.
Well, it's a long road to that.
Okay.
But I came from the Bronx, New York. Grew up. And being that I was used for so long, I didn't even know how to live. So what happens is, for me, is that I'm glad that my spirit has touched, and God has touched me to stay here.
Okay, thank you for sharing that. And how about you?
My name is Rick Siblitz. I was born in Jamaica, but I grew up in New London. I've been out here since I was 6 years old. And, I'm just recovering at it.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about recovery and we're talking about surrender. So either one of you can answer this question. What does it feel like when you truly surrender?
Well, for me, it's like surrendering to this new way of life. You know what I mean? And I wouldn't, if I had to do it over again, I would, I wish I would have surrendered earlier in life.
Okay. And how about you?
Surrender means turning it over, because my way didn't work. So I'm very grateful and humble to have the opportunity to be here and be alive.
I like that. So you said if you had it your way, surrender wouldn't have came easy. Tell me what your way would have looked like. If you could describe it in words, what would your way have looked like?
Look like my dresser, all messed up, everything bundled up. And they tell me that having your area disarray is just where your brain is at and how you think, which is so true. And lately I've been trying to clean that up so I can clean my insides as well, because what I see on the outside is who I am on the inside.
Wow, I like that. Tell me more.
So, I think I'm blessed to be alive, because, my mother had to go through a lot of people in her life using. She's the only one that didn't use. From my father, who died at 43 years old, using heroin and drinking liquor. My uncle's dead. Like, everybody has passed, I didn't know my brother was 16 years old and he was coming off of heroin when he was sweating on the couch. I didn't know. I was so young. But I didn't realize that it was part of the life, and it became a part of my lifestyle.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. So in saying that, you opened up a lot of doors for conversation for the person who doesn't know about addiction or recovery. Tell me what it's like when you are struggling with the ways of life that you used to live before you got clean. How hard was that to transition over into a recovery lifestyle?
Well, I've been trying to get clean since I was in my 20s, and I had the wrong understanding of what surrender was. You know what I mean? So till I kept coming, and I had to, figure out was just surrender or complete surrender to this new way of life. You know what I mean? And that's the biggest thing I've made in my life. Biggest decision, and it was a great decision.
Tell me some of the gifts of not doing it your way.
Well, the gifts are, for me, the gifts are incredible. I remember when I was early in recovery, I thought, it was like hitting the lottery or something. I didn't know the understanding of recovery. That's why it took me so long to do a complete surrender, you know what I mean?
So, were you under the impression that recovery would be boring? Did you ever think about that? Like, recovery is going to be boring. If I stop doing this, the girls stop coming and the fun stop happening and the laugh stop laughing. Did you, I mean, honestly, because you are a man, I want to get a male perspective. Well, did you think that way at first?
In the beginning, I didn't know what to really think. But as I came, for some reason, I couldn't stay. When they say to you, keep coming, or whatever brings you here, but nothing. I was just so caught up in my own devices, and I didn't know how to turn it over and give it to God, because I didn't know the difference.
That's see now. So tell me, what was it like when you finally figured out the difference, though? What did that look like?
I cried for 6 days. After 29 years, my mother showed up spiritually and touched the person that I was with while we were using, and she was like, "There's a scent." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I went to the window. I said, "There's nothing but fresh air." And she said, "Remember what you told me about your mother used to wear white diamond?" And from that point, 3 days later, I cried for 6 days at my daughter's house. I didn't even touch my grandson. And I have not had the desire to use since then. And that was on March 27th, 2024. So I am definitely grateful.
That is awesome. You know, I have the privilege of knowing the two of you from the community. I'm really close with my husband, and he is a walking gift of knowledge, even with me, literally.
Absolutely.
I'm like in the ring with him every day. He wants me to learn something new every day, so I can't even imagine what y'all go through with him, because he wants to teach.
All the time.
But you know what? It works. You know,
Absolutely.
it works when we stop pushing, because even I push back even still sometimes. I'm not in a learning mood all the time, but you know, look, go ahead.
I was there today. He was off rip. He was like, you know, he kept at, but he said, you know, family does that. And, you know, he thanked me for being able to accept, you know, what he presents. You know, it's not to be harmful, but it's because I like you. I love you. If I didn't care about you, I wouldn't even go this far. You know, because I said to him this morning, I was like, okay, I'm not with that this morning. Like, we were all together, man. But I had things I had to do out of my mind, and I wasn't, you know. So it's a blessing to have him in my life, you know. And I truly mean that, because when he road trip, he's like, I'm gonna get you. We're gonna go on another road trip whenever you're ready. I'm like, I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm open to say yes to things that's gonna benefit me in the long run, instead of saying no or missing the opportunity to become a better person.
And I like that. And the reason why I went there is because normally if it is ladies here, I'm the one that's, you know, in their life, where I know some immediate people in their life that's pushing them also. And I can visually see what you're saying about, you know, I'm not in the mindset right now to learn nothing. But one thing that he has taught, even me, from day one, is open-mindedness. And the moment you become closed-minded, the disease already won.
Correct.
Because when we stop wanting to learn something, even when we feel like it's being force-fed, if you're starving, they force-feed you even in the hospital. They give that shit to you in a tube. You know what I'm saying? For real. When you're starving and you go in the hospital and you can't eat for yourself, they put the food in a tube, and they still, you gotta still survive. Right?
Okay.
So if you was like, I said I'm not hungry, you're gonna die.
Right. And they're not gonna let that happen.
And they're not gonna let that happen. And he's not gonna let that happen. So I have watched you go through so many surrender moments and not use. Like, you have been through some amazing moments that are teachable in your recovery. Tell me what that was like when you seen some of the circumstances as far as health and your kids and stuff going through these, and you came out clean.
Well, for me, a lot of people say, because I had a stroke, that they don't know how I do it. But, you know, I can't imagine trying to get high with the stroke. You know what I mean? Because my limbs are, you know, affected. And, you know, trying to, you know, get another one, I can't even imagine that. So I didn't have no choice for me. You know what I mean? It was easy for me. And my kids is just extra responsibility. You know what I mean? Yeah, extra responsibility. So that's motivation for me. You know what I mean? Because not only for me, it's for my kids. You know what I mean? And I had a hard time grasping that, you know, that responsibility. because I always thought it was for me, because I was spoiled all my life, you know what I mean? Yeah, because I'm the youngest of 5, and my sisters always would say, I got everything I wanted, but, you know, back in the day, I thought it was cool to be spoiled, but I'm paying for it now, you know what I'm saying?
I would like to go back on something you said. I want to give you more credit than even you give yourself, because you said that you had a stroke and that you couldn't get high. I know people in wheelchairs that don't have hands that get high. They find a way, right? So give yourself credit, because you can drive a vehicle and go pick up your kids and go to do all of these things, and you are choosing not to get high. It's not because you had a stroke that you're not getting high. It's because you found a better way than the obvious. Because if you were a person or a man that makes excuses, you would be using right now, because you have many. We don't need them, right? I'd be like, this plant is in my damn light. I don't see very well. I think I'm gonna go smoke some crack today, you know? But so we really don't need any reasons. And strokes and health and all parole, you can have 2,965,465,201 days of parole on your head, and you're gonna get high if you want to get high. The disease is stronger than those numbers,
I
right?
can tell you something about that too. Like, and it's funny because my daughter's 40 now. So she was like 9, and I went to work. I was working security. So the security guard wanted to drive around. He's from Brooklyn, I'm from the Bronx. So we go into a block and they light us up, shoot the car up. I'm the only one that got hit. Went to Lincoln Hospital, they irrigated it, and I still, with my disease, I hobbled over to the house, tried to get to the side of the hotel so I can get high. My daughter's on the, up on the porch. Daddy, and I give her $5, but I've got a boot in the foot on my foot with a bullet that just went through it, but I want to go get high. But the hit is, I had the stem already when I went to work. So that was the plan. You know, going to the hospital, I had to switch it to another leg. But the insanity of all that. Now that I think about what I've done and how things have progressed, it's out of this world. Like, who does that?
We do.
Right.
That's the thing. We do. That's what I was trying to say. We don't need excuses
There
or
is none.
reasons to. There are no excuses. No. We just do. So finding the miracle is the day you don't use, even just the one day. It doesn't take a whole 2 years, 3 years. The first day that you make a decision not to use something, you have just became a miracle just that one day. So I would like for you to tell me how you got the second day. And I mean that figure. I mean, tell me what it's like on your day-to-day staying clean.
Well, for me, Joe's been instrumental, you know what I mean? I don't know what I would do without Joe. You know, how I grew up. Joe's brother was my best friend growing up. And we met each other at the, it was YMCA. We was trying out for the basketball team. And seemed like we've been together every day since that day, you know what I mean? And so I look at it like I don't have a choice but to stay clean. I've been trying to get clean since I was in my 20s, you know what I mean? And you know, I guess I didn't completely surrender yet, you know what I mean? So, you know, and I grew up, the disease had me so consumed and blinded that I grew up thinking my siblings hated me, like they was jealous of me, you know what I mean? And it was absolute opposite. They my biggest cheerleaders today, you know what I mean? They love me, they show me love all the time, you know what I mean? And that's how the disease had my brain thinking like that they hated me.
I love hearing this perspective. So tell me what you have to do to stay clean another day.
Well, I have to pray. Once I wake up, sometimes I pray before I go to sleep. I'll be laid in bed for about a half hour before I even move. And with that, staying clean, I have to have people in my life that are willing to grab me and say, yo, you ready to go to a meeting? Or to do something positive. And because if I don't do nothing positive, I'm not doing nothing at all. So then it becomes negative energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, my daughter also said to me on the 7th day, she said, Dad, your grandson only has you as a grandparent. I need you to stay, not go back out. And that was like a wow moment for me. You know, it was so deep that, you know, and I felt it. Because once I did, the next time I went to the house like a week later, and I put my grandson to sleep. No, but actually he put me to sleep. You know, it was so different because I did that with both of her other children, the 2 girls. One's 16 and the other one's 14. And I did that until they were 5.
Okay.
Even in my addiction. But to have a grandson without me being in addiction, you know, he just made a year, October 7th. So for me to be able to be there with a grandchild that I'm not using around,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's different. But it motivates me, you know, it motivates me a lot. The
That's
people that's
awesome.
in my life.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I have this, I'm going to say something and I want you to tell me what it means to you. Men with men, women with women.
You can go first.
He passed that one quick. You go first.
Well, to me, it means just what it says, like men with men, women with women. Because women could be a distraction for me, you know what I mean? And, you know, they just a distraction for me because, you know, I'm a man's man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And, you know, I get like,
You
and I
get a tongue twisted just talking about it. We already know. He can't even talk about it. So yeah, okay. So what does it mean?
and I have daughters, you know, and I grew up with four sisters, you know what I mean? So I've watched them go through their, you know, trials and tribulations, and just from watching my mom and my dad interact, you know what I'm saying? It's just, you know, like a distraction.
Okay. What does it mean to you?
Well, it is a distraction at times. It depends. But the time that we're living in now, it doesn't really. It depends. If you, no, seriously. Like, I grew up with my cousins. They were all women.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I also started to try to get clean in New York, and in Harlem they do things differently. So, it has to be what your desire is. If you want to stay clean, or you're fooling yourself and trying to get into a relationship instead of helping somebody. I'm learning that now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I won't have more female friends than male friends because I feel like I can't trust. In the same token, I can't trust women too. It sounds like it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm.
But the reality is, if you're really there to help somebody with no conditions,
Mm-hmm.
unconditionally, good, bad, or indifferent, then you're genuinely helping them, whether it's a man or a woman.
Okay. I like that perspective. So women with women, men with men, is more so for the newcomer, because otherwise you're killing them, whether it's a man or a woman. You're killing them. You're not giving them the opportunity to live, because there is a difference. Even though there are some states and some places that say men sponsor women and women sponsor men, if a person or has been through some traumatic issues in their life, either male or
Right.
woman, in their life as a young girl, that's traumatizing again to have to reshare that. And how can you go that deep with a person that's the opposite sex of you without connecting some form of bond with that person? It's called a trauma bond. And a trauma bond is the worst thing you can do to a newcomer, because now they think you're the new God in their life. And that's the reason why it's women with women and men with men. And this is something I'm sharing with you from a clinical standpoint, but it also makes sense. Men, there are some great men out here that mean you no harm and that could be a great friend. But when it comes to men with men and women with women, when you are new, it should really just be that, because it can get confusing. And even with a man, they've been through a lot of trauma, and to be able to share that with a woman, you might find her attractive, you might not tell her the whole truth, and anything can happen, and y'all can build a trauma bond.
Right.
And you're never gonna get your whole self and feel 100% whole with a person that you have just grown to be attracted to. It's not possible, because now you want to impress instead of share your true self. You're not going to be transparent. you're going to be macho. And you can't heal if you got to be macho all the time. Do you see what I'm saying? That's the reason why it's men with men, women with women. So when you get some time under your belt and you've done some work and you decide, oh, I think that this could work for me, then you're making a decision on your own to talk this through with a network that you've built by that time to see what they think about it. You're not going to make that decision by yourself. It'll be God and your network. But as a newcomer, there is no reason on this earth that you should have a male sponsor or somebody in your life that's not a female that's guiding you. Because you have to teach them from, like, crawling. To grab onto something. That's how we learn how to crawl. You got to grab, and it's going to be something that's uncomfortable and hard.
Right, the root.
There you go. Like the relationship woman to woman is hard. It's a very hard thing to do, but you have to teach them to grab on. Otherwise, they'll never learn, and they're going to lean to their own understanding, which is man.
Correct. I understand that.
You see what I mean? So when I look at the two of you, and I see you in the community, and I see you guys have your DDP party. I call it the DDP party, Dunkin' Donuts party. I tell my husband, "Where you going to the DDP?" And he's like, "Yep." I call y'all the DDP crew, Dunkin' Donuts party. What is it like when you guys hang out with the men, and what is that like to fellowship? So somebody out there who doesn't know what that looks like, what does that look like when you guys get together?
All right, I'll take it first. It's like a family, actually. It's really like a family of men, brother, cousin. Like, you're in the same community. You're thinking about staying clean, learning more about trying to get jobs. You help. There's a community help within that, and it draws laughter, joking. We get serious topics. Sometimes play with topics, like go out, and then we bring it back to the real reason why we're there, and we're there for each other and to get an understanding, learning how to be with men.
That's right. See? Thank you. And how about you?
Well, I get somewhat nervous when I'm, when I get in Dunkin' Donuts, I'm more relaxed. And I could open up because, my sponsors, me and my sponsor, and then, other people come in, and I'm more relaxed for some reason. No females, not, because that's a distraction for me, like I was saying.
Yep.
Yeah, so I get more butt naked, you know what I'm saying, you know what I mean? I could get more honest, and honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. Those are the three spiritual principles of the program that you have to be to really surrender to this life, you know what I mean? And it's a new way of life for me, you know what I mean? And it's been working so far, so I don't want to do anything to change that, you know what I mean, out of my routine.
That's right. That's right. I love these answers. And I'm going to follow up on something you said at the beginning of the show where you were saying that you were resisting a little bit. You didn't feel like doing, he brought something to you didn't feel like doing. So I just want to say this to you so that y'all all know the love that he has in his heart, because I know he loves me with everything he got. He started with me before he even got to y'all with an assignment. So it was to look in the mirror and say something to. So when those things happen, say to yourself, why are you resisting? And that's what I had to say to myself, because I was like, you don't see me with a client, I gotta do something, I'm doing work, but yeah, I said, absolutely. And then we walked out, and you could take this one or two ways. You could take it as a help, or you can take it as resistant. And he said, what did I ask you to do again? Now, my ego could have been like, you already, but my recovery mind said, you asked me to do this, this, and this in the mirror. And he was like, there you go. Everything that he has ever asked me to do has gained me wings to fly higher. Do you see what I'm saying? So when you get a gift from the fellowship of hanging with men, that supports what I said about men with men.
Absolutely.
You see, and then the comfort that you can have about talking about things that you really need to learn about. As you stay longer, you'll be able to help out a young lady and say, I know some perfectly good women that you can hang around. Let me get them for you. Because guess what? My husband is going to know that you're good people. I don't know if you noticed, I don't hug guys. It's only his sponsee family that I give hugs to because they're family. But I don't hug dudes.
Yeah, I still don't hug you.
Right, right, and he's been around me for years. So, but
Right.
that's a respect thing I have for myself,
Right.
not even
No, I
just my
understand.
husband. For myself first, then my husband.
Right.
Because I got to respect myself as a lady first, right? So these are all things I learned from being with the women.
Mm. Well, it's funny that you said that because it was told to me a couple of weeks back, and I did come up to a woman and asked her, can I get her number so that I can bring females to her? She said, well, send them to me. That's not going to work unless we're in the rooms. And most of the time, when you get them, they are relapsed already. They're not coming, and they're going to go to somebody they think somebody they can trust.
Right.
And how can I get them to you? I don't have no number for you to retrieve that. So that's another issue because I walked somebody home today partially because they wanted to use. It's a soup kitchen, and she's really wanting to smoke weed. And I'm like, no, let's go.
Right, I got you.
And I walked out of my...
But we only have like 30 seconds left.
All right, sorry.
So she did the right thing. I would never give you my phone number either.
Right.
And I just want to say that to the viewers. I would never give a man my phone number to give it to other people. Because, first of all, even when you go to treatment, they say they don't want to talk to you. They want to talk to the person that's sick. They don't want to talk to you. We can want it for them as much as we possibly can, but I want to talk to the person that's sick to make sure that's what they want, right?
Gotcha.
I really want to thank you guys for coming. See how fast it went? I really appreciate you. I'm going to get y'all to come back again if you're willing to come back and do this again.
I'm already willing.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
And thank you all for joining us on another episode of Recovery Life. Ciao.
Bella. That goes, right?